So don't worry, this is not like a full-length sermon or anything. I wanted to give a homily too about what inspires me to care for this earth and what I love, and I'll try to leave you with the hope that I take. I have a daily practice that I set on this for this year. A wise person says, aim for a quasi-daily practice, an almost daily practice. So here's my almost daily practice. It's twofold. I get outside, I spend some time outdoors, and I draw something that I see there. And the drawing helps me to draw, which is my spiritual practice, and helps me to pay attention, really get in touch with what I'm looking at closely. And the being outside is, literally touching grass, making sure I'm connecting with the source, my own source. So I'm usually drawing something that grows, not only whatever my eyes happen to get interested in, but usually it's something like the euchera right here in our garden, our coral bells in our memorial garden, or the thunbergia that grows up winds around the railings on my deck at home. Something growing. And what I love so much about this time of close observation of the natural world is nature's unbelievable fecundity, its growth, its generativity, tenacity, always reaching in whatever way it can with boundless creativity toward life. And it can just be as simple on that level as, as the vine climbs and it comes across something that it can't go through. It turns and goes around. And drawing, I noticed this. Oh, look at that. That vine turned 90 degrees where it had to. The plant just says, okay, that's where the light is. That's where the growth is. That's where I'm going. If I were looking through a microscope, of course, I would see the amazing rapid mutations by which nature does this thing, by which it is ready to adapt to whatever the circumstances are. We've thrown some pretty tough circumstances at the rest of the beings on this planet, for sure. So I find not only that that's incredibly beautiful, but it gives me hope because nature is so amazingly resilient and adaptable, so creative. Always ready to go in this direction, whatever new direction it needs to go. So before I give you two little incidents that are giving me hope, I want to say two things. I want to say something about them, about plastic and about cars. I have this hope, this dream that before I am laid in this good green earth, we will have gotten over this whole car thing. And cars, the direction of using cars, go ahead, using individual personal automobiles to get most of the places we want to go will prove to be a weird blip in the history of humanity. Why did we do that? With everything we organized around it. It's where we are right now. I came here in my own personal vehicle from San Francisco this morning because it's the only way to get here. We have not used our creativity yet to build an alternative. But like nature, we have this amazing creativity, and it can lead not only to great inventions like cars, which can cause as many problems as they solve, but it's what leads us to look at those problems and think beyond and say, what do we want? How do we want to live? Does it have to be the way it has always been? We're really good at that as a species, but where we get stuck, where we cause problems, it seems to me, is always those failures of imagination, where we don't imagine wildly enough, where we're not creative enough. Like we haven't thought, why are we organizing? We kind of backed into this. Why are we organizing our entire economy and transportation and government, everything around this way of getting from place to place? Maybe it made sense when we first started, but can we take a step back and look? Why do we have this capitalist system anyway that says, we have to make things and sell them and advertise them and all the things that we do? That's only been around for a few hundred years. We could step back, use that amazing creativity that we were bequeathed by our grandmother Earth, and and think, we don't have to do it this way. We can do it another way. Okay, so I'm hoping cars will be a blip, and this I think is more of a reach. I'm really hoping we'll recognize plastics were a blip. Like cars, they have a very particular use, right? There are some things, no doubt, that no matter how hard we try, we will not think of a better way to do them than these polymers made out of petroleum. But I mean, they are everywhere, right? They are everywhere. Just look around us, okay? And that's, been really bad. Okay, so plastics and cars. So the reason I brought that up was because the example I want to give that's really in my heart this week about nature's incredible creativity and adaptability has to do with the great plastic garbage patch of the Pacific. We have to say of the Pacific because it is not the only one. You probably know about this. The eddies of the oceans make matter kind of collect in certain places, and for millions of years, it was just debris of the ocean, seaweed and trees that fell into the water and so on. But now, a lot of it is plastic. Okay, so many things bad about that. But here's what I heard this week: the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, as people have been studying it and trying to figure out what to do with it, marine biologists have realized there are new species or newly adapted species in that garbage patch. They're calling them neopelagic. Pelagic species are species of the open waters. And these are neopelagic because they are species that usually are only seen along the coastlines. And those that they have found their way to the Pacific garbage patch and made a whole ecosystem in which they can live there. This is what I mean. I don't want the garbage patch to be there, but it is amazing that nature, the whole planet has said, in its unconscious, amazing evolutionary way, all right, we got a whole lot of garbage here. What are we going to do? Oh, look at this. We can live here. We never could live in the middle of the ocean before, but now there's something it's so amazing. Nature will heal so much of what is thrown at it. The problem, of course, is that we're throwing it much faster than most things can adapt. And that's where our intelligence and creativity come in, where we have to get bolder and bigger in our imagination. So speaking to that, I want to play a sound for you all. Raise your hand if you think you know what that is. I'm going to play it again. Think you know it? Hint, you hear it every day. Anybody want to venture a guess what they were just hearing? I'm sorry, I hear badly when lots of people are talking, so why do I even ask that? Can you call it out? Traffic, can you get specific? Can anybody tell? Tell me the species. No. What's that? Yeah, it's an electric car. I know we could adjust the volume, right? It would be a lot louder if it were a gas-powered car. So I wouldn't have been able, nobody would have known that if I'd played it 10 years ago, right? You wouldn't even know that sound if I played it 10 years ago. By the way, the only reason it makes a sound at low speeds under 20 miles an hour, is because the National Federation for the Blind said, these things are silent, and they're 2 tons and they move fast. You're going to kill us. Once they get faster, you hear the sound of the wheels and everything. But they said, can you put a little putt, 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 putt? Okay, this is how old I am. In the 1970s, the height of bicycle fashion was to take a playing card and a clothespin and stick a playing card in the spokes of your bike. So your bike, too, would go putt, 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 and it would last forever because, plastic, and make this cool sound. So that's what we do, and that's what we're hearing. Just a little piece of good news. Not only are these things now becoming more and more the share of how we do get around individually, as long as that's what we've got the only infrastructure for. But so, they're a stopgap. I hope I will one day give up my EV because I will not need a personal car anymore. Won't that be wonderful? And then, but just a story from this congregation. Somebody I spoke to just in the last couple weeks in this congregation said, and I didn't get her permission, so I'm not going to share the name. But somebody, she said she was in the market for a new car. Her internal combustion engine car needed to be replaced, and she was going to get a hybrid, and for various reasons that wasn't looking very viable. Excuse me. And so she said, I decided to go all the way and get an EV, and I'm loving it. Now, this was several weeks ago, and very shortly after she got her EV, this war, which has no explanation, began, and gas prices, of course, skyrocketed, with the result that EVs are now flying off the lots. She is so glad she bought one when she did, because we cannot build them fast enough to supply the demand. So, all right, human creativity saying we got something really bad here. We got this war, which is sort of the plastic garbage patch of human events at the moment, but we're going to make something really good out of it. We're going to travel in a better way. This is my hope, that we will look to the earth and say, it is so resilient, it is so creative. Nature always finds a way, the way of life. And can we also look to what is the way of life? What is the most life-sustaining thing we can do with these amazing minds and these amazing hands and these amazing hearts of ours? That is my hope for this Earth Day and always for all of us.